It's a funny story about this t-shirt. I was in jiu-jitsu one day and I was standing in queue next to one of the teenagers and I had this underneath my gi, and he turned and looked at me and was kind of like, oh, that looks really familiar. Is that off a game? And I started laughing, thinking he was joking, obviously, because I just assumed you'd know who Iron Maiden was. But then I remembered that he was 15 years younger than me, and Iron Maiden was about 40 years ago. So after I stopped laughing, I said, no, this is not a video game. This is a very, 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 very famous metal band, one of the OG metal bands, one of the best ever. Arguably, in my opinion, one of the best songs ever in terms of Hallowed Be Thy Name. So he said, oh, I'll check him out. Gave him some song recommendations. Came back later in the week to next class and it's just like, oh my God, the music's amazing. Do you have any more bands like that? And I was like, oh, you I what? And I did. So tonight we're doing some snatching and we're doing some squats and then we're doing some RDLs after, but doing them properly. And for weightlifting, which is more back than hamstrings, and I'm going to really focus on the extension as much as possible. Then we'll do some core. Probably no single leg stuff tonight. I think the single leg plyometrics yesterday was sufficient. Really enjoying snatching at the moment. Just would enjoy if it was 2 months time or 3 months time and the ambient air temperature was warmer, so I wouldn't have to actually pay attention to warming up. Updated my elbow, so I know I get this question all the time since I started talking about it in terms of elbow rehab. We're not fully there yet. I suspect we would have been there now if I was actually had it as one of my main focuses, but due to the squat and the wrist, had to take some break in between some of the rehab, and I just took a break because I didn't feel the urgent need to hone it in. As I've been saying, Dr. Steph has been giving me stuff to work on, so we're getting there. And one of the big things I'm missing is I just need to go get someone to give a little massage, a little therapy to it. But I need it a bit more regularly. I need it at least once a week for a couple of weeks. Probably, I suspect, if I had it 4 weeks in a row, I'm doing a good job. I don't really love any of the people who could do that near me. I prefer to go to my favorite therapist. He's an hour away, which is fine, and I've done it. I did it for months on end trying to fix other issues with him, which he did fix with me. But it's a 2 hour round trip, very busy at the moment. I am, I have my son to take and collect and stuff from childcare, and I don't want to be sacrificing training. I don't really want to take an evening off is one of the issues. So if I need to fandangle it an evening where I finish work early and then I train and then I go. But it is, work's busy. We do a lot of stuff and I love it. And I love training at the moment. It's just is so enjoyable. I'm really enjoying snatching, like really looking forward to snatching and all of that good stuff. So it's a problem of abundance rather than a problem of, oh, I can't get good care. So what I do is just need to go see him. I need to contact him and set it up and make time. As such as all things, as many of you learn as you're adults, most of the demographic watching this are young adults or new adults. Some of you are veteran adults, you're seasoned adults, so you've been in the game a long time. And I am luckily my own boss. So going to do some snatching tonight. I'm either going to do something very, very stupid, like last session in the shoes, or I'm going to do something smart. Now, but it is a valuable thought, I know some of you are wondering. So you might be wondering, am I going to do some variation? Am I going to start doing some different stuff? And the answer is, there's two ways we could look at this. We could look at variation as a way of doing GPP work for weightlifting, non-specific work at the base of a triangle, which is something that it can be and often is very, very valuable. Or we can look at variation for a snatch and clean and jerk as a way of addressing specific issues, which it can be, and it very, very often is, and is very, very useful for that. But depending on what it is and what you're doing, you could say, I'm already very well GPP'd out of it. I have a 10-month strength block where I didn't do any weightlifting. So you can make the argument that I just need to do lots of snatch and clean and jerk at the moment until my issues become apparent, until something presents itself. Then I would use the snatch and the clean and jerk variations, or just in this case, the snatch variations. Or I could head down, keep going, and add in some variation in a fashion that is preempting some of these, knowing some of my previous stuff, which in my case I would be very, very lucky to. I could do some no foot stuff. I could do some low hang stuff, I could do some low block stuff, and I probably should do that, but I'm probably not going to, for one good reason is I don't want to. I probably just want to do some snatching because I'm a dick. Now, one other question on the weightlifting. Some of you are like, oh, this is like, you've done a couple of sessions of snatching, clean and jerk, or snatching now, Owen. What's going on? Are you going to get coaching again? Are you going to get Anton? And I was only talking to Anton yesterday. And I said, if I go do snatching or clean and jerk again, I will definitely get coaching from Anton again. Because it's so much better to be removing yourself from at least some of the process when you want to make better progress. So I will try and get some sessions in a couple of weeks. I'm going to just lay the ground floor now and do some training and see where we end up, and then it'll be a bit more productive. Could I start now? For sure, but again, that timing and extra hassle of getting stuff done is something I don't want to deal with at the moment, so I'm just going to keep snatching. And could I make progress on my own? Obviously, but you know, like I say, Anton is very, very valuable, so there's no point being inefficient. I better stop. This is turning into a weightlifting session. I don't know what's happening to me. I'm just not a weightlifter anymore. Just a blue belt. Just a blue belt doing some strength and conditioning. Oh god, I don't even know how this happened. Why is my t-shirt tucked in? I don't even know what's going on. I'm gonna get onto my strength training squats, not my weightlifting squats. Squatting after weightlifting is hard. I forgot that was a thing almost for myself. Not that I did weightlifting, because I'm not doing weightlifting. I just did some snatches as assistance work for power production or something. So we're going to move on to some RDLs and some core. Probably going to superset those just cause, and then we'll do some cardio. Most nights I do about 30 minutes of cardio. Tonight we'll see how I feel. If minimum 20 minutes is kind of the effective dose, I find. We'll see how I feel. I might watch some more Blue Eye Samurai. I'm loving that, but I actually try and keep it for watching on TV. I don't want to watch on my phone or kind of passive watch it. It's such a good show to watch. Now, I don't watch anime. I don't know if that counts as anime. Is that anime? I don't think it is. I feel like that's not anime. It seems like a cartoon or an animated series. But I am really enjoying it. Now, is it taking me 3 weeks to watch 2 episodes? Yes. Is that okay? Yeah.
In the very first one, Horus Rising, a bunch of titans are described as being around 140 meters tall. Or if we're going by freedom units for my fellow Americans, tasteful amount of descriptive adjectives. But I was able to track down several sources for this video that did give us a...
Okay, so that finishes the session. Snatches, low hang snatches. So I ended up doing the low hang snatches because for me they've always been a fantastic exercise. When I did 155, that was my main assistance exercise that I was doing. I was doing a lot of no foot snatch as well. But the low hangs were so useful for me because they put me in a great position here, and I just get a really good extension. I keep my back in a good position. I'm just keeping my hips back here, so I'm really staying. So I'm not letting my hips come in. I'm keeping them back. So instead of coming in like this, I'm staying back, back, and then big extension. Now at the moment, I really have to focus on the lockout overhead, so locking out my elbow as much as possible. On top of that, what I have to really focus on is actually accelerating the barbell. So this is one of the things that is so important to understand, so important to grasp, but it is something that is very hard for beginners and intermediate lifters to understand. It's a very, very common question every single week in a live stream or a Q&A or on our Facebook group. Someone will say, my snatch turnover is really slow, or my pull in the second pull of the clean feels really slow. and the barbell's crashing on me. How do I fix it? Now, very often there's other variables, there's positional things. The barbell sometimes is too far away from their center of mass. There's too much distance here, so it makes it hard for them to speed up. But very often as well, lifters are going as fast as possible from the floor, so they're going full Zlatan Van Ev off the floor, and then they're not able to actually get any meaningful speed at the top of the hip. So as we're getting to that second pull, we need the barbell to be increasing in speed. It's acceleration, not max velocity. Slightly slower off the floor is better if we are continually speeding up. Because if we hit max speed here, invariably we're going to slow down. The barbell naturally slows down as you get through that second pull and that contact. So you need to enact the opposite by giving yourself capacity to go faster as you get towards the hip. If you hit max speed off the floor, you're going to quote unquote run out of speed. You're going to get slower on that second pull because you can't keep up max speed indefinitely. It's a resources issue. So as we get through that second pull, if you've initiated your first pull as fast as possible, that second pull then is going to inevitably be slower, but because it slows down, because the change in position, and that contact, because the friction slightly slows down the barbell, then speeds up aggressively again in the extension. But if you've hit max speed off the floor, you cannot then keep max speed through that second pull. So acceleration is something I was thinking about, which was not moving it slowly, but making sure it moved faster. Now it's kind of a feeling, it's hard to get. Don't worry too much about it, but do think about it. Okay, so I'm going to finish my RDLs, stiff-legged deadlifts and sit-ups, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed that.